Friends, just think for a moment. Has there ever been a time in your life when you felt like all paths were blocked? When you thought, this is impossible for me to do? When everyone around you said, you can't do it? Today's story is about a moment just like that. It's a story about the impossible, a story of belief, a belief that can awaken the sleeping power inside you. This is the story of two friends, Raju and Saju. Raju was only 10 years old, and Saju was about 2 years older. Their friendship was like a shadow and its body. They spent all day playing together, wandering together. Their world was small and full of joy. One afternoon, basking in the golden sunlight, they wandered far from their village while playing. The green fields, the sweet breeze, and the chirping of birds, everything was peaceful. They were running around near an old abandoned well. Little did they know, this calm afternoon was about to become terrifying. Suddenly, while playing, 12-year-old Saju lost his balance and fell into that deep well. A loud splash, and then silence. Little 10-year-old Raju's heart stopped. He ran to the well. Leaning over, he saw his friend Saju struggling in the deep darkness, screaming in a terrified voice, "Raju, save me! I'm drowning!" Raju looked around. The place was empty. There was no one to call for help. It was just him and his dear friend fighting for his life in the depths of the well. On one hand, his friend was begging to be saved. On the other, his own helplessness. What could this little 10-year-old boy do now? Was there really anything he could do? In that moment, 10-year-old Raju wasn't thinking about logic or calculations. Who was older, who weighed more, he had no time for any of that. All he could see was one single image, his friend sinking. And all he could hear was one single sound, "Raju, save me!" Lying next to the well was an old rope and a bucket once used to draw water. That was his only hope. Without wasting a single moment, Raju threw one end of the rope toward Saju. He wrapped the other end around his own small waist, and with every ounce of his strength, he began to pull. Just imagine a little 10-year-old boy who probably weighed no more than 25 or 30 kilos trying to pull up a boy almost double his weight. The rough rope felt like it was burning his small hands. Every muscle in his body felt like it was about to tear. Planting his feet firmly on the ground, he pulled and pulled and pulled. His mind was empty of all doubt. He had poured all of his mental strength, all of his physical power, everything into that one rope. There was only one thought in his head. I have to do this. I must save my friend. Friends, just close your eyes for a moment and picture that scene. What was going through that little boy's mind? Was there any negative thought to stop him? Was there anyone there to tell him, this is impossible for you? There was no one to remind him, Saju is much heavier than you. Around him, there was only silence. And it was this very silence that helped him gather all of his inner power. He forgot his own limitations. He forgot the difference between possible and impossible. His focus was singular, to bring his friend to safety. And then, what happened next was simply unbelievable. Little by little, inch by inch, Raju started pulling his friend up. Finally, covered in sweat, exhausted and shaken, Saju's face appeared over the edge of the well. Raju had done it. He had saved his friend. When the two friends, covered in mud and water, with fear and wonder in their eyes, returned to the village, they breathlessly told everyone what had happened. But nobody in the village believed them. They all started laughing. One person said, "Stop with these wild stories. A 10-year-old pipsqueak pulled a boy twice his weight out of a well? That's the biggest lie I've ever heard." From all around, there was only disbelief and mockery. Raju's little heart was filled with hurt. He was telling the truth. But in the crowd, there was one person who was listening to everything quietly. He was the oldest and wisest man in the village. Everyone respected him deeply. He slowly walked forward, placed his hand on Raju's head, and said in a calm voice, "He is telling the truth." The entire village was stunned. Everyone asked in amazement, "But how is this possible?" The wise old man smiled. His gaze was very deep. He said, "You are all asking the wrong question. You're asking, how did the boy do it? The real question is, why was he able to do it?" He paused, and his voice sounded even deeper in the surrounding silence. He was able to do it because in that lonely place, there was no one to tell him, "You can't do it." There was no one to remind him that Saju was heavier than him. There was no voice of fear to hold him back. He had only two options: either save his friend or watch him die. And when a person's back is against the wall like that, when there is only one path to survival, they find a strength inside them that they never knew they had. Friends, this story isn't just about Raju and Saju. This story is about you, about me, about all of us. Inside each of us, there's a powerful Raju sleeping. But our own inner critic, that voice that always says, "This is too hard, what will people say, what if I fail?" that voice doesn't let him wake up. Think about it. How many opportunities have you given up just because of this fear? How many dreams have you suffocated inside your own mind just by thinking you can't achieve them? From today, from this very moment, silence that inner critic. Break down the walls of your own limitations with your own hands. When you face a huge goal, think of that 10-year-old Raju. For him, nothing was impossible. There was only one fierce determination. I have to do it. Believe this, your real strength is not in your body, but in your belief. Your limitation is not in your circumstances, but in your thoughts. The moment you erase the words "I can't" from your mind, the true winner inside you will awaken. Your victory will be certain. We hope this story has inspired you, and if it has helped you with your English learning in any way, please don't forget to show your support. Like, comment, and share this video so it can reach others who need to hear this message. Thank you for watching.